The cottage stood nestled deep within the Bavarian woods, its windows like ancient eyes gazing out at an endless tapestry of green. John had found it listed online, a charming, rustic retreat, precisely what he'd been seeking to escape the relentless hum of city life. He arrived in late autumn, the air crisp with the scent of pine and damp earth, a perfect quiet solitude stretching before him. His first day, he walked down to the small village bakery, drawn by the scent of fresh rye bread. An elderly woman, her face a roadmap of kindly wrinkles, served him. As he paid, she gestured vaguely towards the tree line that bordered her village, a glint of something ancient in her eyes. "The forest, it watches," she murmured in heavily accented English, her voice soft as falling leaves. "Always, it knows who walks within its heart." John smiled, chalking it up to charming local folklore, a quaint superstition that added to the character of the place. He thanked her and walked back to his cottage, the phrase lingering in his mind like the distant chime of a bell. But as the days turned into a week, a subtle shift occurred. The initial feeling of peaceful solitude began to evolve into something more. The whispers of the wind through the pines seemed to carry a deeper cadence, a quiet murmuring that sometimes felt like a conversation he wasn't privy to. The shadows in the forest, even in midday, felt less like mere absence of light and more like hidden presences. He often caught himself glancing at the woods, feeling an inexplicable pull, an awareness that went beyond mere admiration for nature's grandeur. The trees themselves, especially the ancient towering firs that stood closest to his cottage, seemed to possess a silent sentience, their branches reaching out like observing limbs. He would be reading by the window, and a sudden quiet shift in the light or a particularly deep rustle would make him look up, feeling as though he had just been observed. The old woman's words returned to him, not with a sense of dread, but with a growing intrigue. Then came the night the rain turned to a fierce, driving gale. The cottage, usually a cozy refuge, felt like a small boat tossed on a stormy sea. Trees, usually a comfortable distance, seemed to lean in, their branches scraping like skeletal fingers against the window panes, a rhythmic, unsettling scratching that punctuated the roar of the wind. A shiver, not entirely of cold, ran down John's spine. He was alone, utterly alone, surrounded by the raw, untamed power of the forest. He tried to focus on his book, but his gaze kept straying to the window, to the dark, churning mass of the woods just beyond the glass. And then, amidst the tempest's roar, a distinct, deliberate sound cut through the chaos. A knock. Not a branch, not the wind, a clear, gentle rap upon his heavy wooden door. Twice, then a pause, then twice again. John froze. His heart hammered against his ribs. Who could possibly be out there in this storm? He slowly rose from his armchair, feeling an instinctual certainty that this was not a lost hiker or a curious neighbor. Every fiber of his being screamed to stay put, to pretend he hadn't heard. But a different, quieter voice, a strange curiosity mingled with a profound sense of awe, drew him forward. He walked slowly, his hand hovering over the peephole, then hesitated. This felt different. He took a deep, steadying breath, and with a slow, deliberate movement, unlatched the heavy wooden door. Standing on his porch, silhouetted against the swirling night, was a figure of profound stillness. Taller than any man, its form seemed to be woven from the very fabric of the forest itself. Its skin was like ancient bark, deeply ridged and gnarled, its limbs strong as the trunks of the oldest oaks. There were no discernible features, no eyes or mouth as humans knew them, yet John felt a distinct, gentle presence, a quiet wisdom radiating from it. It simply stood there, emanating a silent understanding, a profound connection to the land. The storm seemed to quiet around it, as if even the wind held its breath in deference. There was no sound, no spoken word, but in that moment, John understood. The forest wasn't watching him with malice or curiosity, but with an ancient, protective awareness. The polite knock wasn't a threat, but an acknowledgement, a greeting. Perhaps a subtle reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild, a quiet request for respect for the profound life that thrived here. He felt a wave of profound peace wash over him, a sense of belonging he hadn't known he craved. He nodded slowly, a silent reverence passing between man and forest entity. The being, without a sound, without a further movement, simply melted back into the thrashing darkness, becoming one with the embracing shadows of the trees, leaving only the sound of the wind and a profound silence in its wake. The rest of John's stay in the Bavarian cottage was different. The forest still watched, but now John watched back, not with fear, but with deep respect and a newfound understanding. He walked among the trees, no longer just a visitor, but someone who had been acknowledged by its true inhabitants, by something ancient and living that breathed alongside him. The Bavarian forest had indeed watched, and then, with a polite knock, it had welcomed him into its ancient living heart, leaving him forever changed by the quiet grandeur he had witnessed. It reminds us that sometimes the most profound connections are found not through words, but through presence and the quiet acknowledgement of the world beyond our immediate understanding. Have you ever felt such a connection to a place, a sense of being seen by something ancient and untamed? Share your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe for more stories that explore the mysteries woven into the fabric of our world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep listening, and keep an open heart to the whispers of the wild.